In these past few days or months, we have been experiencing an earthquake. And having experienced this kind of situation is not a joke because your life is put into line. But before this earthquake has been happening, the Ateneo de Davao has been conducting a earthquake drill from time to time. And for us to determine if the students has a knowledge about this earthquake drill, we conducted this study. And these are the main points or key points in our study. Main key points. And one of the primary reason why the Philippines has experiencing this kind of event is that because the Philippines is prone to earthquake and it is part in the Pacific Ring of Fire. Next. And let us put ourselves into situation if we are in this Martin Hall. As we can see, there are lack of images or signage of where to go when there is an earthquake that is happening. Another photo is in the 7th floor. And these are the fire exit, which is located nearly beside our right side of the Martin Hall.
So, in our review of related literature, these are the facts to consider that are mentioned by the other studies, which are fire exits, evacuation plans, and drills, and awareness. So, in the Philippines, the law requires our buildings to have fire exits and evacuation plans. So, in National Building Code of the Philippines, it is to safeguard the public and it is to provide a framework for minimum requirements of the buildings. And for the Philippine Disaster Risk Act, it is to promote to safety of the people during disasters. So also it was one researcher, Gilborn, suggested to conduct fire drills every 6 months so the occupants in the building will be aware to where to go and they will learn how to respond quickly. Next slide. So one of the factors to consider was the awareness. So Nielsen stated that people use familiar exits than emergency exits because he also studied with Gibson's theory of affordances that people tend to example like this. People tend to look for clues in the environment, which let's say so according to Gibson's theory of affordances, he stated that people respond to the clues that located in the environment, which give them the immediate response. So in relating this to Nielsen's research, that's why people use, in the previous slide that was stated that people use familiar exits than emergency exits. So it is previous slide. So that's why they also suggested that from the picture shown that it was important to have the fire signs because it was have fire signs like this. So in the Martinol picture shown a while ago, there were no much signs in the outside. So it would be hard for the students to identify where the fire exits are. So here, following, another research conducted by Kironji in 2015 he surveyed 14 high-rise buildings. So he found that 87.71% are unsuitable, and 17 had a decent, and the other seven it has no emergency exit at all. So as stated with the law, high-rise buildings should ensure emergency exits when all occupants can reach to safer grounds without what do you call that? Without interference, like no signs and tight hallways and lack of escape route. So here, from the research literature, we learned that the behavior of people during disastrous events, they used to panic and they use familiar exits, and with this too, it can cause delays and chaos while evacuating. So the solution for that is to orient them with the evacuation plan, which is also stated by the law. Okay.
So I will present to you the conceptual framework of our study. In the first box, you can see the independent variable, which is the awareness of ADU students in the 5 school divisions, which is the SBG, SON, SEA, SOE, and SAS. And in the other box is the dependent variable, which is the evacuation plan and exits of the Martin Hall. Since our study aims to know the awareness of the ADU students towards the evacuation plan of the Martin Hall building, it also aims to answer the following questions. First is, to what extent are the students knowledgeable of safety measures of the Martin Hall in terms of evacuation plan, escape routes, fire exits, and evacuation areas? The next question is, there is significant difference on the level of awareness of the ADU students towards the evacuation plan of the Martin Hall building. And our null hypothesis is, there is no significant difference on the level of awareness of the ADU students towards the evacuation plan of the Martin Hall building. It is limited to the responses of only the ADU college students, and other universities are excluded in this study, and even the employees of ADU is not included in the response.
So we have a total of 356 respondents, which are systematically randomly selected. The divisions, the 5 divisions were. So this is the distribution of respondents in the division of SBG. We have 147 respondents. SEA have 100. SON has 29. SOE has 23, and the SAS has 57, in a total of 356 respondents. In order for us to conduct research and to survey these respondents, we created a specialized Google Forms that will measure the level of awareness presented in the bipolar scale, 1 as the not aware and 10 as the very much aware. And before we conducted research, we oriented our respondents for what is it all about. So using the test of normality by Kolmogrove, we have this sig value. SEA, SON, and SOA together with SAS surpasses the level of 0.05. Unlike SVG, it only has 0.013. So the sig value is lesser than the 0.05. So
from table 3, I3, we show you the level of awareness for the 5 school divisions. This shows by using the SPSS or statistical package for social science. We stated our mean, median, and percentage of respondents. From the mean, we can say by the test of homogeneity that the values are close to each other, or we can assume that it is equal because from the test of homogeneity it is more greater than 0.05. So we can assume that the values are close. As you can see from the mean, it is very close, but some are far from each other. The level of awareness. From using Kruskal-Wallis, we can say that we fail to reject our null hypothesis because our sig is greater than 0.05. So we fail to reject the null hypothesis. So the conclusion is, given the result of the study, the following conclusions were drawn. We can answer the conclusion by the statement of the problem. Our first statement of the problem is, our conclusion is, knowledge on the safety measures is only average because the values of the 5 divisions got a mean of 6. So we can say that they have knowledge about the awareness in the evacuation plan of the Martin Hall, but not that doesn't have much knowledgeable about it. Second is, there is no significant difference on the level of awareness of the adult students towards the evacuation plan of the Martin Hall building. The implications are, awareness does not differ among the school division. From the test of SPSS, then all students has the same level of awareness because of their mean. Occupants are at risk because they don't have enough knowledge about it. Students should be knowledgeable, and ADU should conduct drills and orientations about evacuation plans or exits on the building.